Well, if we're talking about these companies right now, Virgin Galactic has sold more than 650 tickets, and the price on average is over $200,000, and that's both for Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin, and this is U.S. dollars. And so, for who it's going to be the people who can afford it, which really is the top 1% of the 1%, or even higher. And then if we're talking more long term, if we're talking about colonizing other planets and like maybe going to the moon or something like that, those are going to start off with research institutions, with government agencies, and then it'll go to the ultra wealthy. And then the goal is to open it up to more than just that and make it accessible to more than just those people. And really, that's what, like, say we go to Mars, that's what that's going to look like as well. So, space, democratizing space is, it's very broad. It's not totally clear, like, what are we talking about when we talk about democratizing space? And from a space for humanity perspective, democratizing space means giving people access that wouldn't otherwise have access. And that could be physical access, so like literally sending people up there, or that could be knowledge access and just understanding what the projects that people are working on in space and what it means for the future of humanity. Um, or it could be technological access and giving people access and putting their research experiments on flights and conducting those. And space flight is a really, really expensive feat right now. And so democratizing it means opening it up, whether it's, like I said, a physical or knowledge based, opening that up to people who haven't had access to it. Because up until now, if we're talking about sending humans up to space, there's been less than 600 people who have been to space, and they've been almost entirely Western men and almost entirely scientists and engineers. And so that's the goal of Space for Humanity, is to give access to people who haven't been touched by it before, because there's communities all over the world who aren't aware of what's happening and what people are working on in space right now. I think there's a lot of implications that come with opening up access to space to people. And the reason why Space for Humanity was founded was because of the transformational impact that space can have on someone. So there's a cognitive shift in awareness that occurs to astronauts when they go to space and they actually experience the planet from space, and they experience its beauty and its fragility and the interconnectedness of everything on it. And it's called the overview effect. And these people get an entirely new understanding of everything that's happening on Earth, from the environment to humanitarian issues to even politics. And there's accounts from astronauts, countless accounts from astronauts, saying that from space you don't see the dividing lines between countries. And so I think the implications of having this experience, of having the overview effect available to more and more people, like, it's really hard to predict what that perspective would do for us collectively. But it is known that when we first went around the moon, which was 51 years ago this year, and we saw the Earth as a marble in the sky, it's so small that you could cover it with your thumb. It's many historians say that seeing the Earth from that perspective is something that actually sparked the modern environmental movement. And there's evidence that points to that. Like, the Environmental Protection Agency was founded, and Earth Day was founded, and a number of organizations that are leading the nonprofit movement were founded. And even an organization, Doctors Without Borders, which was the first organization with the "without borders" in the title, and that phrase didn't exist before we saw the Earth from that perspective. And so I think giving more and more people access to that perspective, whether it's physical, whether they're going to space, or whether they're just people they know are going and they're experiencing that, I think that that's going to cause a shift that really propels us towards a brighter future. And I can't predict exactly what that would do or how it would happen, but I know that it will have an impact on issues that we're facing right now all around our planet, as globally. It would have an impact on our efforts in the environmental movement, and it would also just impact us on an individual level, like the way that we treat each other and the way that we view ourselves in this world.